Microsoft Azure provides a great interface to use the Azure PowerShell. The PowerShell is a programmatic tool to create, destroy, manage, or report on resources through a command line type interface. Let's look at how to connect from your local machine to your Azure subscription and then create resources. To do this, click the Start button and search for PowerShell. Notice that you have the option to run as administrator, which is what you'll select. When you see the warning for the UAC notification, just click Yes, and you'll be presented with the PowerShell window. First, you'll log on. The command for that is connect AZ account. After entering the command, you'll see the login screen. Enter your subscription login credentials and your password. I've connected my local machine PowerShell environment to my Azure subscription, so I can see my account name, the subscription name, and some specifics about my subscription. Let's find out some information. You can use different verbs, such as get, to query the resource group. You can Google these types of commands or search on help for the commands. Notice the display of all the different resource groups that are within my subscription. You can use templates or commands to create resources using the PowerShell. That means you can use templates or scripts to help initiate virtual machines. Now let's look at the script that creates a new Azure VM. The script defines the resource group name, the name of the VM location, the virtual network name, any subnet that gets created, a security group, and a public IP address, as well as the open ports for the VM. We'll open HTTP and RDP ports. When you press Enter, you'll be prompted to enter credentials for the machine that it's creating. I'll provide credentials and then click OK. After receiving the success message, the Azure resources are already being created in the Azure shell. The new VM is being built and deployed exactly like we saw when we used the portal. You can either use the PowerShell to programmatically build resources or use the Azure portal for a more direct interface. And back on the Azure portal, you can see that the resources associated to the resource group and virtual machine we just created. There's the network security group, public IP address, the actual virtual machine, a network interface, the resulting disk for that resource group, and the virtual network. When PowerShell completes, the resource information will be displayed. You can cycle back through the commands if you want to change them, and you can also remove resources using the PowerShell. You could create a script that brings up a small application or small virtual machine, performs some function, and then quickly destroys it. Type in the command remove AZ resource group within the resource group name that we just created. Press Enter, and you'll see a confirmation request. Enter the appropriate response, in this case, yes. You'll be prompted for credentials to verify the removal. I suggest that you go through this yourself. There are several samples available in the Microsoft documentation for creating, managing, and reporting on resource groups. It's a great tool when you're working within Microsoft Azure.